Here it is, one of my personal favorite coasters I've ridden, Xcelerator, the one that started the legendary hydraulic launch. This coaster is one that I've been riding for quite some time. As you can imagine, it's very close to my heart, and today I'll be doing an in-depth review of this very popular Intamin accelerator prototype. What's up, guys? I hope you're all having a great winter break, and today I'm going to be doing my review of Xcelerator. For those of you who haven't seen my other review, I give the stats of the coaster, go through the elements in depth, and do a pros and cons at the end of the video, and then at the very end, I'll give the coaster a score out of a 10. So without further ado, let's get into the video. First of all, we have the stats. Xcelerator goes 0 to 82 miles an hour in 2.3 seconds. It's 205 feet tall, and it's 25 seconds long from launch to brakes, with 2,202 feet of track. It also has a maximum vertical angle of descent of 90 degrees. Now, looking at the track length, you can probably tell it's a very short ride, but that is just the nature of Intamin accelerators. I mean, look at Top Thrill Dragster, King Dakar, and Stealth. Those are all very short rides too. Next, we'll cover the elements. Xcelerator starts with its signature hydraulic launch, then it immediately rockets into the top hat, which gives surprisingly strong airtime. You plummet down to 90-degree twisted drop into a few overbanks with a pretty good head chopper, and that's the end of your ride experience. Like I said, it's a short ride, but boy, it does pack a punch. So first off, we have the launch. It's actually very unique because after the stoplight counts down, you get shot right out of the station. For the actual launch experience, you roll slightly backwards, and then you get absolutely propelled out of the station. After the launch, you immediately transition into the top hat. Now, personally, I didn't notice the transition into the top hat to be that forceful and intense, but maybe that's just me. After this, you twist upwards and you're facing the sky. I really enjoy this sensation on coasters like Xcelerator. As you crest the top, you're given a strong moment of ejector, that is, if you're towards the front of the train. You get a nice view of your surroundings for a second or two, and after this quick view, you plunge down the twisted drop, and for me, this is the highlight of the ride, if you're in the back. This drop in the back row gives some of the strongest and most sustained airtime and laterals I've ever experienced. I was caught completely off guard when I first rode in the back. After the drop, you head into some cool and fun overbanks. They're somewhat forceful, but I've never grayed out on them. On the second one, you get a nice head chopper on the supports for the top hat. There's not much to these overbanks, but they do add a nice little section to the coaster. In my opinion, this makes the ride feel a little longer, and it makes it feel more complete. Then you slide into the brake run, and that's the end of the coaster. Don't click off the video just yet, we still have the pros and cons. So for pro number 1, it's the intense launch. As I said before, you get shot out of the station and down the launch track. The launch stays consistently forceful, and it's definitely a great part of the ride. So con number 1 is the row selection system. All you have to do is look at these yellow gates to know something is messed up. To put it simply, the station is separated by cars and not rows. This makes it really hard to choose your row, because if you're the last one on the car, you most likely have to sit in the back of it. It really gets a hit or miss. Plus, I've seen GP get confused by this system countless amounts of times. Pro 2 is the ridiculous ejector on the twisted drop. I've already mentioned that this is the highlight of the coaster for me. The airtime is so strong and it's quite sustained. This element alone makes the back row my favorite on Xcelerator. Con number 2 is the short ride time. This ride is very short and it is kind of annoying. Like, you see coasters like Ice Speed or Red Fire and you think, man, I wish other launch coasters had a section like that after the top hat. And don't get me wrong, I'm a fan of the overbanks, but if there was more something like Ice Speed's little twister section, that would be amazing. Pro number 3, the restraints. Man, remember when Intamin used to make great restraints like these? Well, I'm lucky enough to have them on this coaster instead of the dreaded U-bricks or Skyrush restraints. T-bars are super easy to get tons of room with, and they're very open and comfy. Additionally, they do not come down at all, and I mean at all, during the ride. These are definitely my favorite restraints I've ever used. And no, I have not ridden a coaster with buzz bars. Con number 3 is that this coaster has one train ops. Yep, it sure does. As you all know, this makes the line move way slower. Having a long line for a coaster is annoying, but at least with more trains, they move quickly. With one train ops, it feels like you just sit there in the same place for an eternity. And I don't even know what's going on with the other train because it can run two trains, as you see in this photo. But for the past few months, it's been running one train for whatever reason. All I can tell you is that's really annoying and makes the lines move very slowly. Okay, so that's a wrap for this review. So for Xcelerator's final score, I'll be giving it a 9 out of 10. It's a great score, and I'm only taking off a point because of the length. But besides that, I mean, this coaster's got it all. Positives, ejector, intense launch. I mean, Xcelerator really has everything. If you've made it to the end of the video, then wow, I really appreciate that. So thank you all for watching. Be sure to post your thoughts on this video in the comment section down below. And of course, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.